I wanted to do a post today about something that cropped up on my social media feed actually yesterday, and it really kind of got me thinking, and I think it may be something that's quite helpful to other people. And it's regarding the fact that it's okay if you home educate or homeschool to feel a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit out of your depth sometimes. And I wanted to do this post because I think that home educators and homeschoolers in particular don't always like talking about the challenges that we face because they feel that there is enough of a negative view on homeschooling and home education anyway. And if they go talking about it, it's just going to make people even more kind of down on it and maybe undo a lot of the hard work that, people have done kind of campaigning for it. And I totally understand that. But my entire ethos of doing this channel really is to give people an honest insight into what it's like home educating, what it's like in real time, what it's like trying to juggle your children, their education, their social life, your work life, because some days it can be really, really hard. And so, just because somebody chooses to home educate or homeschool their children and they make that lifestyle choice, it doesn't mean that every single day it's easy or it's enjoyable or you're 100% that you've made the right decision. When you're needing to just really quickly nip to the shops because you've run out of toilet roll and it's an hour's chore because you got to get the kids ready and organised and rallied round and in the car, then you get to the shop and they want to look around the shop and then they want some sweets or they want a drink or while we're out can we go see Nana and you think, wouldn't it just be nice to just be able to just nip to the shop and get some toilet rolls and come home in like 5 minutes and it's done. There's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong sometimes in thinking this is really hard and I really just need a bit of a break from it. Likewise, if you're anything like me and you work from home, I work online, so I create digital products and I try and help other people set up platforms to be able to work online to facilitate homeschooling or home education. A lot of the work I do requires an awful lot of thought process from me because I'm not a technical person. So while I have experience in sales and marketing and customer service and things like that, I'm definitely not technical. So when I sit down to work, I really need to sit down and I really need to concentrate on what I'm doing. One, because I find it challenging until I get to grips with it, and two, because I want to make sure it's good. So I found that working alongside the kids just doesn't work for me because if we're all sat at the table or we're all sat in the living room or whatever we're doing and I'm trying to work and they're trying to do their thing, I can't give them 100% of my focus if I'm focused on something else. So I have to try and juggle my work around what they're doing on any given day. We are quite flexible, so we don't set things in stone. We don't have like a rigid set routine. So sometimes that can mean that I grab half an hour on the morning while the kids are having their breakfast and getting organised. Sometimes I'll grab an hour at lunch while having the dinner. Sometimes they'll do arts and crafts in an afternoon and I feel that I can be there doing my work while they're sat crafting because it's not as tie-in, they don't need me as much. Sometimes I can be sat till 10 o'clock on the night when they've gone to bed. And again, if you're in that position, or even if you work and you come in and then as soon as you walk through the door, because I've had this as well, it's just all of a sudden back up on you and you're back in mum mode and you're cooking the tea and you're sorting the washing and the kids want to talk to you because they're not seeing you all day. It's okay sometimes to think, this is really hard, like, am I ever going to get this balance right? And it is hard not to be envious of people sometimes who do send their children to school because you have this mindset, this mentality that they have all this spare time during the day, when in actual fact they probably face exactly, the same kind of challenging mindset, but for different reasons. So really the point of this video was just to say that if you do feel overwhelmed sometimes and you do feel like you're getting a bit swamped with everything. You do feel like things are really hard. You do question whether you've made the right decision, and you are envious sometimes of people who do send their children to school. That's not because you're doing it wrong. It's not because home education or homeschooling isn't right for you. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because it's something that you're not suited to. It's just because you're human. And whether you sent your kids to school or whether you home educated or homeschooled them, I can guarantee that there would be parts of your life that you would find really, really difficult to work around the kids still. So for anybody watching this today who's feeling like that, don't think that you're the only one. I can 100% guarantee you that I feel like it some days, and any homeschoolers or home educators that turn around to you and say that they have never felt like that, then my take on that would be they're either exceptional human beings, or they maybe are just telling a little white fib because, again, they don't want to put a negative tone on home education. But I think by doing that, it really, number one, gives people a false impression of what it's like. Number two, people who are new to it go into home education and thinking that it's all just skipping through fields and wearing gingham and doing sing-songs, when in actual fact, it's really not like that at all some days. So if you're feeling like that right now, or if you just feel you want to have a bit of a rant or a moan, the comments are always open. My inbox is open. Please feel free to drop any comments or any thoughts on this, because I think the more open we are, the more it's going to help other people, and the more we can help other people, the more they'll be encouraged to talk about it, and the more we talk about it, the more realistic we are for people who are considering home education or who've maybe started home education and just feel a little bit out of their depth.